Ladies and gentlemen, we're only getting closer and closer to what is one of the most exciting moments in every NBA season. Yes, I do know it is still quite a ways away, but I wanted to make this video sooner rather than later. And if you haven't figured it out yet, or you have somehow not read the title of the video, yes, this concerns the 2021 NBA trade deadline. And with mentioning the trade deadline, in today's video, I am going to be going through some players that I feel may have the best chance to be moved or dealt before the trade deadline, which is March 25th of 2021. Now keep in mind when you are watching this video, I'm not saying by any means these players are going to be guaranteed traded before the deadline. I am just trying to say that with the rumors and news I've been seeing over the course of the last couple months, that these big name players may be the most likely to get moved. So if I do have one of your favorite players possibly being traded, please take it with a grain of salt. I'm really excited to get into this video, but before we do, you guys know the drill. I'm going to give you all 5 seconds right now to go down below and subscribe. If you're new here, you came to the right channel because yes, we are coming out with brand new NBA videos every single week, covering trending NBA topics, countdown videos, what if scenarios, the list goes on and on, you guys. I have so many ideas for this channel going forward. It's going to be a really fun journey ahead, and I'm really hoping you guys stick around. Also, while you're down there hitting that subscribe button, don't forget to slap a like on the video as well if you are going to enjoy it. I can't say it enough how appreciative I am of all of the support. Thank you guys so much for all of it, but I've already wasted enough of your guys' time, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, you guys, the first player I'm going to be covering for this video is actually someone who has been on the trade block all the way back until last year, and there have consistently been rumors in the news concerning trade scenarios for this man, but none of them have obviously gone through yet. And if you haven't caught on yet, yes, it is Kevin Love of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the fact that Kevin Love has been on the trade market for such a long time and is still yet to be moved might surprise most of you, but there are without a doubt 2 major reasons for why Kevin Love has yet to be traded and why he may never actually be traded. And these both have to do with the fact that Kevin Love is making over $30 million a year currently on his contract, as well as the fact of the Cavaliers' asking price for him. Because if you were not aware, with the most recent trade talks revolving around Kevin Love, it seemed to be that the Cleveland Cavaliers are asking for at least a first-round pick in exchange for him. And don't get me wrong, Kevin Love is still a very solid player, but without a doubt, these 2 factors have diminished the trade market for him drastically. Along with this, I should also mention that his health has been a major concern for teams that would trade for him as well, considering he has been on and off the court in terms of injuries a lot recently. So who's to say if Kevin Love will actually be traded before the deadline hits, but hey, I mean, it's something to think about. Next up, we have a player that I was not really expecting to cover in this video, but there have been some rumors popping up in the last couple of weeks when I record this video that have forced me to talk about him in this. And yes, it is Lou Williams of the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, if you guys have not been watching many Clippers games so far this season, I will be the first to tell you right now that there has been a drastic drop-off in the player that we know as Lou Williams this season compared to his last 3. As when looking at the major statistics, he is averaging 10 less points per game than what he has been throughout the course of the last 3 seasons, along with also playing an average of 10 less minutes per game as well. No matter what the rhyme or reason is for this drop off in points and minutes for Lou Williams, the trade rumors around his name have been circulating over the course of the last week, and it seems inevitable that he may be moved before the deadline hits. It's really interesting to me as well because I feel like there are a handful of contending teams out there in the NBA right now that would love and use Lou Williams as a piece off the bench a lot more than the Clippers are doing this season so far. In terms of his overall playing time, I should mention, as the Clippers played him 10 more minutes last season compared to this one. So we'll just have to wait and see with this as well. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have a player that has actually already been traded this season so far. And I feel like it's pretty obvious at this point after giving away that massive clue, so I'll just go ahead and say it. It is Victor Oladipo of currently the Houston Rockets. Now, it was a very interesting situation that we've seen so far between Victor Oladipo and the Houston Rockets, because if you guys were not aware, immediately after Victor Oladipo got shipped out to Houston in the massive James Harden deal, there were rumors that were getting leaked about 2 hours after the trade that Victor Oladipo already made it clear that he wanted to be traded out of Houston to another contending team. Now, Victor Oladipo never actually came out and said this himself, but the rumors have been circulating around Victor Oladipo wanting to play for a contending team for the last couple of months, even when he was with the Indiana Pacers. And even with these rumors rumors recently circulating, it seems that the Houston Rockets have wanted to keep him for the time being, as he has been playing solid minutes in their rotation over the course of the last couple weeks. However, if we were to see Victor Oladipo get traded to a team like the Miami Heat, the Denver Nuggets, maybe even the Dallas Mavericks, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Again, you guys, these are all just some things to think about, but I definitely would not mind seeing Victor Oladipo on a new team, kind of spicing things up in the league. Kinda sorta staying on topic with the Indiana Pacers, as we mentioned them in the previous player. We are now going to be moving into one of their highly coveted players around the league, and this is their center, Myles Turner. Now, over the course of this last offseason, you guys probably know and saw that there were a lot of rumors involving a trade between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers that was reportedly supposed to send Gordon Hayward to the Indiana Pacers in exchange for Myles Turner and some draft compensation and money as well. You guys get the gist of it. And obviously, here we are now, 2 months into the NBA season, and this trade did not happen, and Gordon Hayward, in fact, ended up signing with the Charlotte Hornets. But the fact that this trade was maybe a split second away from going through, I would not be shocked in any way, shape, or form if Myles Turner somehow got traded before the deadline this season. Myles Turner is definitely not a headline player, and yeah, he probably doesn't get the media recognition that he deserves most of the time, but hey, he is a potential DPOY candidate. He's still young, and he's got a lot of potential going forward in his NBA career with what he has shown so far. I know Pacer fans, you'd probably be willing to keep this man on your roster, but I feel like there's some teams out there that would be willing to offer more for Myles Turner than what we would all expect. Next up on our list of potential players to be traded, we have Buddy Hield of the Sacramento Kings. Now again, I know this is not another name that has been headlining the talks of trade rumors recently, but I am seriously telling you, do not be surprised if you see Buddy Hield on a different team before March 25th of this year. For those of you that did not know, last year Buddy Hield actually signed a 4-year, $94 million extension with the Sacramento Kings, which seemed as an obvious choice for the Sacramento Kings that they wanted Buddy Hield going forward as their starting 2-guard on their team. However, there seemed to have been trouble in paradise as the season went on, as the Sacramento Kings ended up benching Buddy Hield throughout the course of the season for Bogdan Bogdanovic, which we seemed to see through rumors that it did not sit very well with Buddy Hield. I mean, who's to say if these rumors about Buddy Hield being mad are actually true, but still, you got to think about it. Buddy Hield is a very solid all-around player that would be a great piece on a contending team. For those of you that did not know, he has been averaging around 18 points per game throughout the course of the last 3 seasons, while also shooting 41% from 3 overall throughout his entire career. I know Buddy Hield is not the first name that pops into mind when you are thinking of the 2021 NBA trade deadline, but hey, it's definitely still something to consider. The next player we are going to discuss is honestly the player I have seen the most trade rumors involving in the last couple of months, and to my surprise, and maybe yours too, it is Kyle Lowry. From what I have been seeing in most of these trade rumors involving Kyle Lowry, it seems to summarize it up that people are saying it is time for the Raptors to move on into the next chapter of their franchise. And to no surprise when thinking about this, it seems that the next chapter of their franchise would be without Kyle Lowry. As most of you also probably know and saw this offseason, the Toronto Raptors signed Fred VanVleet, their other point guard, or their 2-guard currently, I should say, to a 4-year, $85 million contract. And honestly, with Fred VanVleet signing this contract, even though no one really wants to say it, especially in the Toronto organization, this kind of felt like the Toronto Raptors subtly putting out the message to the public and to Kyle Lowry himself that Fred VanVleet is going to be their point guard going forward. Now, I know, as I already mentioned, they have been running both Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet in the backcourt together, and it has been working out quite decently for the most part. I mean, take that statement as you will with what their record has been throughout the course of the season as I'm making this. However, it is clearly something that will not last forever, and I'm sure it would not be a surprise to us as well as many people around the league if Kyle Lowry were to be traded before the deadline. Last but not least for today's video, I believe I have the most interesting one of the video so far, and it involves a player who I, as well as many other people, feel is so underappreciated in the league, and yes, it is Demar Derozan of the San Antonio Spurs. Now, I know from what we've seen so far from the Spurs and Demar Derozan himself this season, Spurs fans are going to come at me and tell me that they would not trade Demar Derozan at the time, which I can definitely see where you are coming from, as he is obviously the leader of the team right now, and he currently has the Spurs as the 6th seed in the Western Conference. But the one major way I could see Demar Derozan being traded before the deadline would be if the San Antonio Spurs decided to really look themselves long and hard in the mirror and realize that it is time to reset the franchise and try to go for some young, prosperous talent that will lead their team for the following 5 to 10 seasons. Now, I know, as I already mentioned, the Spurs are doing much better so far this year than they were doing last season, but the front office of the San Antonio Spurs has to be thinking at this point that DeMar DeRozan's trade value is going up right now, and there's only a certain amount of time that it will keep going up in the near future. As we know, the man is currently 31 years old, and there are definitely a few teams around the league that I'm sure would give up quite a bit of value to add this man to their roster to make a run at the the championship, which I'm sure the Spurs also know they are not going to be able to do this season. But hey, I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. But on that note, and covering my final player in Demar Derozan, that is going to mark the end of the video for today. As always, I'm really hoping you guys did enjoy today's video. It was a lot of fun to make on my end. And before you guys leave me, I want you to leave a comment down below of what one other player I didn't mention that you believe is going to be traded before the deadline this season. Rumors about all sorts of players have been flying around like crazy. I definitely know I missed some big ones in this video, so please let me know. However, if you guys haven't already, once again, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. We're coming out with brand new NBA content every single week around here. It's going to be very interesting and a lot of fun going forward here on this channel, you guys. I can guarantee you that. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.